Inside Out 2 might be the movie that will single-handedly save Disney. The past couple of years for Disney hasn't been too good, but I think Inside Out 2 might be the one to bring them back from the dead. I'm with Gmo, I'm Joel, and yeah, today we're going to be talking about Inside Out 2. Gmo, do you remember much of the movie? Do you remember the plot?
Yeah, I watched it like literally the other day. So Riley from the first movie dealing with her emotions, but this time she's got new emotions because she's becoming a teenager. So we just
What?
we just follow Riley while she's going through some changes in life because she's being a teenager
Puberty.
and that, yeah, puberty and all that. So she's got new emotions and her life as well is changing because her friends and stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, so that's the basic plot. It's kind of what you expect for them to pick it up from the previous movie. You kind of would have expected them to be like, right, we've had the childhood bit, now it's time to go through the puberty bit. Um, and they did have a pretty good story. It was quite similar to the first one in the sense that it was her going a bit on like not being Riley anymore. A bit like how Joy was gone in the first movie, so she didn't have joy. And then this time, all of the emotions are gone, and now it's taken over by new emotions. So there are some similarities with the previous movie and this movie, but it's still told well, and it's still a more unique story. Something that I said to Gmo before we started recording is I think the ending was a bit samey as the previous movie because the previous movie ended with what if there were multiple emotions, while this movie ended with what if there were multiple personalities? It was just kind of similar and too samey in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the film. Pretty good. I feel like it was a good natural progression from the last film. It makes sense that we're growing with Riley. The first one came out 9 years ago, so everyone's older now, so they could relate to it even more.
Yeah, that's true. The viewers definitely did grow up with the movie. Overall, I think the movie was pretty solid. I think I think the only thing I would say is they played it a bit too safe. Like I just said, they too many similar tropes to the first movie. But something that we haven't had in a Pixar movie in a long time is something that was actually kind of like had the Disney magic. I feel like a lot of Pixar and Disney movies have been lacking that recently. I think Inside Out 2 is the first one in a long time that's actually had that come back. Like if you think, I'd say the last one before that, and so some people may disagree. Some people may say Luca was had that Disney magic or something, but I think the last one might have probably been Incredibles 2, which came out in 2018. So for me, I think it's a good sequel. I don't think it's the best sequel in the world, but it definitely held up to what I would have expected from a sequel to Inside Out.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the only good Pixar sequels because like Toy Story 4 unneeded, Incredibles 2 I thought that was unneeded. I didn't care about that film at all. What were sequels did they do? Oh, Lightyear, that film I didn't even fucking watch that, but I just know
Finding Dory.
Finding Dory that was kind of boring. I can't lie, I forgot about it completely. I
Yeah, I
did
remember the
watch it,
first one.
but boring.
Yeah. What do you think of the new emotions?
I feel like they make sense, and I felt like they did their job, and added more dynamic because they're pretty different emotions.
I think anxiety was a good example of like one of those villains who doesn't mean to do wrong, but is doing something wrong.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of the time it's just villain is bad because villain is evil. Ha ha ha. Well, anxiety is trying to be like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm helping Riley. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And then it actually turns out she's hurting Riley. And I think that was a good trope. And also the other reason why it was cleverly done as well is like embarrassment, for example. Like I said, it wasn't just villain is bad because villain is bad. It was like anxiety was trying to thinking she was good. Embarrassment, even though he showed up and everyone thinks, oh, they're all bad guys because they've taken over Riley's brain. Embarrassment was actually a good guy. So they had multiple levels to their character, which from the past, like we said, the past couple of Disney movies and Pixar movies, like not only have the sequels been bad, but also the characters just been so two dimensional. While these were actually good, strong, three-dimensional characters, I would say the middle bit is a bit not convoluted, just a bit. They're going on an adventure through Riley's brain, and there's only one thing that really stuck out to me, and that was the sarcasm. That was a funny play on words and stuff. But that was it. Like they just go through corridors and have an emotional moment and stuff like that. They could have done a lot more uh inside of Riley's head, I think, with exploring it. And I know they did that in the first movie as well, but that's their choice. They could have not done a second movie exploring Riley's head. If you're going to do another movie exploring what's going on inside her head, you may as well have more than just one sarcasm thing.
Yeah, I think like the reason they didn't well, they did explore the mind still, but they went for the same places as the first movie, but they did it to like show how Riley herself is changing. I feel like it makes sense to why they did it. But like my favorite movie is like how embarrassment is fat.
Why is that your favorite bit?
I like it when he like hides in his hoodie and his bum crack showing. It was so sick.
Yo, I love that bit. Yeah, you know, they're about 10 out of 10 movies. Best Pixar sequel ever. Do you think they're going to make a third one?
I guess they could like make it when she's like an adult. Actually, I feel like this is the only film like series where I wouldn't hate if they made another sequel. Like it would make sense, you know. Like I want to
Yeah.
see Riley get depression and stuff. Like that'd be sick.
Yeah, you could do something proper dark. The thing is, like, how well can you do that as a kids movie? Because I know you can probably tackle that kind of stuff in a kids movie,
Like, I
but
don't
if
know
you
how they
really
would.
wanted it to be, yeah, if you you could do it in a kid's way. But if you really wanted to have like a good impact of a story, you would have to send it into a bit of a dark place. So I don't know. I don't. It's possible they could do a third one, but the next evolution would be Riley as an adult going through like a midlife crisis or something
Or
like
she
that.
could be in
That
like
could,
university because like that's another stage because she just like going to high school in this one, and then she like discovers drugs and stuff. Like I want to see what happens to Joy when she tries fentanyl, bro. Joy's gonna be like going crazy, like yo, Riley on Fent, Inside Out
yo, I don't
free.
think this is a Pixar movie. It's like
Pixar
A24
hire me,
inside
bro.
out.
Pixar hire me, bro. Riley on Fent, hear me out. I'm trademarking
Bro's
that
doing the
idea right now.
Euphoria inside out crossover.
Oh, I need to see Zendaya in Pixar film.
For real, for real. Uh, I'd say the movie was enjoyable and fun, and I think it was actually quite funny. I wasn't expecting it to be funny. I was just expecting it to be entertaining. But they did have a lot of humorous parts in it that actually I watched it in an American cinema. For anyone watching, we're English, but I was in America at the time. I watched it in American cinema, which are a lot more laugh out loud. In English cinemas, everyone just kind of sits there in silence, even when something funny happens. So in America, it was like people were laughing at all the jokes and stuff like that. So it was a funny movie. I'd say the most stick out bit for me was probably the puberty buzzer bit. Everyone laughed at that when the boop 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 went off, and also the sarcasm where everyone was going, "You guys look so nice," being sarcastic. Overall, the movie worked well. Do you think this is the best sequel that they've ever done?
From the top of my head, yes. Because actually, Toy Story 3, I can't lie. No, no, nothing can top Toy
Yes,
Story 3, but it's
that
up
was
there.
sad.
It's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Do you think they waited too long though?
No, I feel like it's been long enough. So like, because if it did too soon, I feel like people are like, why does this film exist?
Yeah. I think I think they waited slightly too long. I would have liked to seen it maybe like 5 years after the original, maybe in like 2020, but they didn't leave it too long. I just would have liked to
Yeah.
seen it sooner. Uh, but yeah, for me, while they could make a third one, I think they should leave it here. I think this is a nice conclusion. They can't make a third one and do because like I said before in a video, it is very samey. There are a lot of the same tropes from the previous movie. They can't do a third one and do all these similar tropes again. So I feel like this is the logical place to end the series.
Yeah, I get that.
I give the movie mm, 7 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.
Let's go. Like, subscribe.